Volume 1 opens with the death of Mr. Henry Dashwood's uncle. This uncle's great fortune is willed to Henry's first wife's son, John. Henry dies, and his fortune is unfortunately left to John's disposal. This leaves his wife and their 3 daughters with very little money and without a comfortable place to live due to the circumstances imposed by John Dashwood's controlling and cruel wife. In modern day, the rules of law wouldn't allow the story to develop like that. Even if there is a will leaving everything a person has to a specific someone, that person's spouse or children has the right of litigation and demand justice. At the time, there was no socially acceptable way for a woman to gain an income to support her living except by marriage. So when their distant relative, Mr. Middleton, invited them to Devonshire, Mrs. Dashwood waited a little more, because she believed that Edward was about to propose to Eleanor. Austen was well aware of the injustice of the laws of her time. Women had no right to inheritance, so they had to focus their martial pursuits toward marrying for economic comfort. Today, the Sex Discrimination Act prohibits direct or indirect gender discrimination against individuals in the areas of employment, education, the provision of goods, services, and inheritance. In the Barton Park cottage in Devonshire, Marianne meets John Willoughby by chance and the two fall in love. But at the end of the volume, Willoughby suddenly leaves for London on business, and after that they learn he is engaged to Miss Grey, who is rich, because he wasted his fortune. At that time, when a woman married, all her property would become her husband's, to do with as he pleased. But today, on marriage, there is no automatic common ownership of UK land or property between the parties to the marriage, unless they choose to put the property concerned into their joint names. In the end, Edward and Eleanor become engaged. Due to the fact that the Dashwood women had very little money for their needs and with no dowry, their chances of marrying being greatly lessened, Marianne accepted Colonel Brandon's proposal. They all married and lived close to Mrs. Dashwood and Margaret.